Okay, I love it. Hi, guys. I'm Dr. Diego Torres. I got into chiropractic from a story that happened to myself back when I was a freshman in high school. Let's just dive right in. I was a athlete. I played every sport you could ever imagine. I loved being active. That was my thing, right? And I was playing football. My freshman year of high school, it was my first time ever playing football, and I was with the big dogs. We went to a private Catholic school, and they were really, really good at football. Didn't quite know what I was doing, and I got injured pretty bad, right? I didn't know how to tackle, so I got a concussion, a really bad one, right? I loved school. I love reading, learning. I'm a nerd, full through and through. And after that concussion, something was off, right? I wasn't getting the grades that I was normally getting. I wasn't focusing, couldn't pay attention. Everything sucked. Countless visits to the ER. My mom took me to the neurologist and the whole 9 yards. They were like, this is what happened. You have to take this, you have to take that, and that will get your headache to go away, right? My mom, being the Latina voodoo witchcraft woman that she is, she says, no, you're not taking that. We can't even pronounce that. I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Whatever. My cousin, she's a chiropractor. She graduated back in 2012. She said, well, come on in. Come to the office. I'll take a look at him. I thought, what's the bone doctor going to do for your brain? But your family, whatever, let's go. We'll give it a try. I went in there. After months of my just head spinning, drugs being thrown at me, try this, try that, whatever. In 2 visits, I was totally fine. She explained what had happened, why I got injured in the first place, how she was going to help me, and how my body was going to heal itself. In 2 visits, I was back on the field playing. Right then and there, I said, I don't know how, I don't know why, but this works. There's something to this, and this stuff works.
Sold.
Right there, I said, yeah, I'm gonna become a chiropractor. There's something to it. I didn't know what it was at the time,
Yeah.
but I knew that there was something to it.
Interesting. So how has your path expanded in chiropractic, and what were your preconceptions of what you were going to learn versus what specialty you went into, and what is that specialty?
I love it. I found out, and it's something obvious, but we take it for granted. I found out that the body is self-healing. God designed us to be self-healing creatures, and that's an undisputable fact. How do I know that to be a fact? How can we be so sure that that's the truth? Let's say we're cooking dinner. One of us accidentally cuts our finger. It happens, right? You wash it off, you put a Band-Aid on there, and then in 2 weeks, you have brand new skin. The Band-Aid didn't heal you. Your body did. Your brain and nervous system did, right? And you didn't have to sit and think about how to do it. Like, you didn't learn back in grade school, okay, red blood cells, go to the site of injury, coagulate, form a scab, new skin cells, whatever, form, pain receptors stop firing. A physiology professor would smack me in the head because I skipped a few steps. But we don't have to learn how to heal. Our bodies are self-healing. So when we don't heal, that's when something is off. That's our body waving a white flag, like, okay, something isn't quite working. We all know that because, when we injure ourselves, we heal. But we don't think about it that way, right? We heal in about 2 weeks. When we're perpetually having some pain or chronic whatever is going on for longer than 2-3 weeks, something's off. Something isn't quite working because humans are phenomenal creatures. We were designed this way. So when we aren't healing, something's off, right? So that led me in the direction of, okay, we're not broken. Humans aren't broken. I don't care if you're a guy, a girl, old, small, young, what have you. You're not broken. Something's just stuck. So that's why, I hope that kind of answered the question.
No, it totally did. Who is your perfect patient, regardless of gender? What lights you up when people come to you at the practice to sort of help them take care of?
Someone who has tried literally everything and they're stuck. They're just like, my doctor said I was fine. My blood labs were great. I don't know what I'm doing wrong and I'm still hurt. That is my ideal patient. I just help switch their perspective, and I don't do anything fancy, right? The body just heals itself. We just know how to press the buttons to allow the body to do that.
That's awesome. I think it's really cool to have people reach a place of personal empowerment in their health, and I love that chiropractors help them do that. Okay, so we can kind of go everywhere with topics. Primarily, I do want to start with men's health just because women really, really focus on their health a lot. And men do, and I feel like they're getting better, but it's still largely so pain based. And I mean pain point based, not necessarily just pain. What would you say is like the biggest problem when it comes to men's health?
That's a great question. I would say that we are going at it the wrong way, right? We think, okay, something's broken, let's fix it, and let's fix it now, right? We're problem solvers. That's what men like to do. They see a problem and they like to fix it. Doesn't matter what kind of man you are, that's what you do, right? When their back hurts, they're like, okay, my back hurts, I got to fix it. Great. When their head hurts, they don't want to say that it hurts, but they're going to, on their own, try to figure out what's going on to get them to feel better, right? So the biggest thing is men, we're stubborn. We don't want to ask for help. We want to figure it out on our own. So the biggest thing that I see is men trying to figure things out on their own, and they're too scared to ask for help because it looks like they're weak and it looks like they don't know how to figure it out on their own. And that's not the case. Seeking help isn't a sign of weakness. It shows that you're smart, that you're looking for opportunities to grow. Women have that figured out. We're trying to figure that out still as men.
So then one of the biggest problems for men is they kind of like get in their own way mentally, I guess.
Correct. Yeah. That's exactly. I couldn't say it better myself. We get in our own way mentally and it stops us from growing. We look at back pain, shoulder pain, knee pain, neck pain, and look at it like, okay, something's wrong with our body, right? We don't look at, okay, what is my lifestyle? Why does my back hurt? What am I doing that I am continuously doing that's not working? The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Mm-hmm. We're going insane, man. We got to figure something out. It's not quite working.
Yeah. So when it comes to back pain, when it comes to hip pain, I see a lot of people get, like hip replacement surgery and things like that because everything's degrading in their hip and back problems. And where does that stem from? Does it vary?
Yes, it totally varies. That's multifactorial. As much as I would love to be like, hey, it comes from this, A leads to B, which leads to C, and that's what happens, and now you got to get your hip replaced. No, it stems from the nervous system not functioning from the beginning, right? When something is off, the body's very smart. It will figure out a way to get something done. Muscles are really good at doing what they're supposed to do, and they're very bad at doing what they're not supposed to do. Right. For example, if a set of muscles on the front part of your body, right, or your core, if they aren't working, your low back has to work twice as hard, if not even more so, right? The low back muscles were not meant to work harder because the core muscles aren't activating or firing. That leads to other systems in your body figuring out a way to get something done. And then your hip starts to hurt. But you're like, why is my hip suddenly starting to hurt? Yeah. Your core wasn't strong when you were a teenager. And now you're 40, 50 years old and you got to replace your hip. Yeah, it's frustrating.
So to what extent would you say simple, just like working out is important for men, and what symptoms can be mitigated with them?
100% of the time. I would say 100% of the time it is important for men to work out, men or women, right? I would say 99% of cases can be resolved from proper exercising.
Give me an example.
Great. When your shoulder starts to hurt, right? When you go to get something fixed or resolved, you go to the orthopedic surgeon. Love the orthopedics. There's a time and a place for everyone, right? You go to the orthopedic surgeon, they say, okay, this muscle isn't working. we have to do surgery and repair it. Right? You know, let's get it to work, right? They focus on that one muscle that isn't working, that one muscle that's just turned off or what have you, right? They're not looking at everything surrounding it, right? The bigger picture, meaning, for example, the rotator cuff. There's 4 muscles in the rotator cuff. If one of those muscles starts to hurt, it's probably because some of the other 3 aren't really pulling their weight. If you were to work out properly, right? I love Ronnie Coleman. I love C.T. Fletcher, and everyone wants to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger in their prime, right? But I mean functional exercising. It will resolve most all of your problems.
So, what types of workouts are best for someone that is experiencing any kind of pain? You know, like lower back, shoulder. What is the most sustainable workout for those types of people?
I like KISS. Keep it simple. Keep it super simple, right? Core exercises are a low back patient's best friend. The problem is no one likes to do core ever, right? It's usually because some muscles aren't firing and working and helping the body work as one functional unit. So some other muscles are picking up the weight, right? And working twice as hard. So simple exercises you could do: planks, bird dogs, glute bridges, pretty much all the things that no one really wants to do because they're not going to make your biceps look bigger and look nicer at the beach or what have you.
It's funny because we do those daily in Pilates. Like, it literally, Pilates is a mixture of all of those plus like other small muscle movements. But like CrossFit, like people, men really like CrossFit. They like boot camp stuff. They like heavy lifting. That's not sustainable for someone in pain necessarily.
Absolutely not. No. I love CrossFit gyms. They bring me a lot of patience. It's not, don't get me wrong, if you were to do it with proper form, it's a beautiful way to work out. Now, if you're explosive, right, I love that. But if you're explosive in the wrong direction, or you're explosive and your glutes aren't activated, or you're explosive and your core isn't strong, something's going to go wrong. Something's not going to quite work. And even if it doesn't, perpetually over time, it'll catch up to you. Love those workouts, and gosh, I would watch all of these bodybuilders, Mr. Olympia, back when I was in high school, and I was like, I want to look like them, and I was lifting all the heavy weights and lifting all these things, right? And if I would have just stretched once, oh my gosh, how different it would be now.
I will never forget. I have had a Planet Fitness membership for forever, and sometimes I'll go there just for a little bit of strength training in between Pilates, and I'll never forget I was stretching, and I do like a really intensive stretch thing because just for me, it feels really good, and I think it's important. And these 2 guys were working out, and they're like big guys, and they're like, will you show us how to stretch? And they were sweating like I'm going through my stretches with them, and they're like, this is really hard.
Intense.
I'm like, that's why you need to do it.
Oh my word. I remember the first time my wife, she is a yoga teacher. I kind of made fun of her. I was like, that's not really working out. Right? I mean, like, you're not, whatever, but I love you. I'm going to support you. Great. She brings me to one of her classes. When I tell you that I looked like I just jumped out of the ocean, there was a puddle. She had to stop and grab towels to clean up my area because I was drenched in sweat. Intense.
It is. I wish that there were more, like, what do you want to say? Like, just focus on men doing all different kinds of workouts to help with like their balance and all that stuff.
NFL players they're doing ballet. They're dancing. So are players in the MLB. They're mobile, right? Why do you think the U.S. gymnastics team, they're all ripped, solid, peak physique? That rhymed. Yeah. It's not just about I love you, Ronnie Coleman. It's not just about pumping iron. Yeah, there's more to it.
How do you think that anyone in wellness can better reach men as far as like you take care of the exterior? What are the points that you would discuss for why they need to take care of the interior too? And how are the things correlated?
That's a great question. If you do not take care of the interior, it does not matter what you do exterior. That's like flooring the gas on a brand new Porsche GTR 911, whatever. But as you floor the gas pedal, you're flooring the brakes. You're not moving anywhere. Your tires are spinning and you're burning out. You will get exhausted. You're going to need to replace those tires soon, and those tires are expensive. Same idea. You could be on top of your game. You wake up every morning. You're there 6 a.m. You're working out, right? I'm there. I'm better than people who are sleeping, right? Great. Good for you. But you don't care about your internals, stress, how you think, your rest. You're pressing the gas and the brakes at the same time. You're going to be spinning out, right? That's how important it is to look at the internals. If your stress is through the roof, cortisol, adrenals, if your stress hormones are ramped up, you could be on TRT, giving yourself testosterone. The stress is going to eat it all up. Let's say you naturally produce a lot of testosterone, right? Your Leydig cells in the testicles are doing what they're supposed to do. Those are the ones that produce testosterone, by the way. If your stress hormones are through the roof and you are constantly overthinking, you're not getting enough sleep, you're not getting enough rest, that does not matter. Stress hormones destroy testosterone. Men are fatigued. Men are exhausted. The diets that they're eating does not fuel their primal instinct, and it's killing us. So that's how important it is to look at the internals. No good.
What does that perfect day of eating look like for men in order to get those energy levels up, fuel those workouts, do all that stuff? Is it different based on whatever their labs say, or is foundationally, do you feel like there's these basic things that they need to include?
Foundationally, there are basic things they need to include, but when it gets down to it, everybody works a little bit different, and their blood labs do play a factor. Honestly, though, protein will be their best friend. You can't be scared of the greens. You can't be scared of the veggies. Stay away from the processed foods. Stay away from the processed sugars. That stuff destroys your testosterone. It destroys you in general, but men just are very focused and hooked on that, on their, what are your T levels, bro? Right? Can you add testosterone on my blood panel? They care about that a lot, right? It's not only that, but that functional, let's see, the baseline, super important. High protein, lose the processed foods, just get rid of them. Nowadays, it's not hard at all. More people are opening their minds to it, right? It's not hard, right? Stop being lazy and just do it.
Okay. So as far as like stress levels go for men, what are your recommendations for how to bring those down, knowing that like they still got to be in this grind? They have all of this pressure to perform and to provide and to do all these things. How do they bring those down and still operate within the circumstances that are around them that they can't control?
Absolutely. And it boils all down to one simple thing, right? You can go down a rabbit hole and niche a million different things on how to balance your stress and how to do this and how to do that. But the one thing that men forget to do, that if they were just to do this one thing, it would figure everything out, it's to breathe. Take a second, breathe. Before you speak, breathe. Before you yell, breathe. Before you make a big decision financially, decision for yourself, a decision for your family, breathe. Take a second. You'd be surprised how much that would help. a nice, and nothing fancy. You don't got to get into this box breathing or this and over there and do all that kind of stuff, right? Just take a breath, visualize yourself, and then proceed. If they were to do that one thing, that one simple thing alone, I think men would, it wouldn't resolve it all, but it would definitely help. There's one thing I did want to say though. It's the way that people view health and healthcare in general as a whole. Not only just men, but everyone in general, right? I'm gonna get a little philosophical here, gonna get a little different, right? So let's say you are in a room, right? And that room has a closet, right? Your room is bright, it's full of light, and the closet is dark, very dark, pitch black. There's no light in there. Every time that you open that door, will the light rush in to the dark, or will the dark come out and overtake the light? The light rushes in. Every time. 100% of the time. It doesn't matter where you are, what you're doing, right? If there's a dark room and there's a light room, when you open the door between the two, light goes into the dark, dark never goes into the light. Why is that? I'll explain. Dark doesn't exist. You can't weigh dark. Dark doesn't have matter. Dark doesn't have property to it, right? Light does. Light exists. You can weigh it. There's photons. You can measure it. You can make lasers, things like that, right? There's a weight to light. Darkness isn't a thing. It's the absence of light. In the same way that we view that, I'm going to make you think and kind of switch your mindset here for a little bit. Some people will like this. Some people won't. Disease doesn't exist. It's the absence of the presence of health. When the health isn't there, then the disease comes. You don't catch the disease. The disease doesn't just come up out of nowhere. When the health isn't there, then the disease comes. You can't weigh darkness because it's not there. You can weigh light. So we're focused on healthcare, but it's not healthcare, it's sick care. You go there when you're sick. And they don't focus on the health, they focus on the sick. They give you medicine to fix the sick. They don't focus on your healthy. When if they were to focus on, okay, what isn't optimal, what health isn't there, let's turn that on, the disease will go away. Just like when you're in a dark room, if you turn on the light, it's not dark anymore. Simple as that.
That's some hippie shit, Diego.
Hippie, yes. Weird. I love it.
How do you explain how the things that you do inside the practice that you're in help to eliminate the darkness as far as people's negative health symptoms and, diagnoses or whatever it is?
I love it. We don't focus on the negative. We focus on the positive. We focus on what's good. And if something isn't quite there, we just turn the light on, right? If your low back is hurting consistently, chronically, you can't bend over to pick up your keys, right? Why? Not, here you go, take this Tylenol, your low back's not going to hurt anymore. Yeah, sure, because your pain receptors aren't recepting pain, right? Your back isn't fixed. We find out why your back isn't working in the first place or why it hurts, and then we resolve it. We don't chase the symptoms. When you chase symptoms, you miss things.
So what is that? We'll call it a discovery process. What does that discovery process look like for someone that comes to you in pain?
I love it. You come on into the office and we ask you an extensive history questionnaire, right? We find out what's going on. Why did this happen? When did it start? What have you done to try to fix it? Why hasn't that worked, right? From there, we'll do a physical assessment, a neurological assessment. We'll find out what's off, turn it on, and allow the body to heal on its own. It's as simple as that. Remove where the nervous system isn't functioning or firing properly, and the nervous system will heal itself. The same way that you'll heal from a cut without having to think about it.
Is there anything that you want to talk about, like as far as people that you've seen in the office that you've helped, or cases that you most like to work on, or like female, male, doesn't matter at this point. You can talk about
Yeah, yeah.
anybody.
We'll do some cases, some men that we've helped, right? There was a guy, and he could not get it up. Couldn't do it, right? Erectile dysfunction. Nothing will punch you harder in the gut than if you can't do that. If you can't do that, you can't do anything, is what a guy will think, right? Couple sessions of PEMF, couple adjustments, patient was good as new.
Really? What did the PMF do?
What that does is, without getting too scientific and nerdy, what that does is pretend that we are a cell phone, right? And we have battery, and when we run out of battery, we don't work like a cell phone would, right? What this does is this targets that specific area that is low on battery. It charges it, and then you go. Now, there's a lot more science to it, right? It targets mitochondrial aspects in the cell. It promotes ATP synthesis, which is what the cells use to, that's like the currency in the body, right? Like, let's say my biceps want to go like this, or they want to curl. The biceps go, here, brain, here's 1 or 2 ATP, let me curl, right? There's a lot more to it than that, but that's kind of what it does. Yes, I know, phenomenal. That one was super, super exciting case. Another case, this one patient, he has had shoulder pain for as long as he could remember. He played baseball as a kid, and now he coaches his son's team, and he's there out every single day. Batting practice. He's in the cages throwing. He's throwing for the kids, right? They're fielding, what have you. He's using his shoulder all the time, right? And he didn't quite know what was going on because he's been doing this for such a long time, and his shoulder's never given him a hard time. So why all of a sudden, he's young, right? In his 40s, that's young. Why is his shoulder suddenly not working? Remember those rotator cuff muscles I was talking about earlier? Mm-hmm. One of those weren't firing at all. We found which one it was. We helped it wake up, right? Simple training. Exercises like I's, Y's, T's, and W's, right? Shoulder movement, shoulder cars. Woke up his muscle, and he's out playing with his son. Baseball every day. No pain.
So is it a situation where those muscles just kind of like start to just atrophy after a while? Or like, are they just, when you say sleeping, what do you mean?
Right. I mean that the muscle itself, it's not receiving proper signal from the brain. The brain sends an information down and says, hey, muscle, do this. And the muscle does that, right? Somewhere along that pathway where the brain is telling the body what to do, something isn't quite right. Like a hose, someone's stepping on the hose. Okay. It's not necessarily because the front of the hose is broken or the water itself isn't flowing. Somewhere, someone's stepping on the hose. We have to find out where the hose is being stepped on, remove the foot, and then the body flows itself. Humans aren't broken. Muscles don't just stop working, right? The flow from the brain down to the body is being disrupted. That could be caused by many things. But figuring out what is there, removing the disruption, and allowing the body to heal on its own, that's what we're all about.
If a man walks into your office and he's stressed and he knows he's not eating great, but he's stressed, so he's eating poorly, and he's wants to make time for the gym, but he's super, overwhelmed, and his life is chaotic, and as a result, his marriage isn't going well, his family life isn't going well, everything is just like at this breaking point. What do you tell this person that has walked into your office, and where do you start?
First thing I do is we breathe, and we breathe together, right? I let him know that he's not alone, because men like to be alone. They like to figure things out alone, right? They're lone wolves, they're alpha wolves, right? And they're alone. We're not alone. Not anymore. Back in the day, yeah, sure, you're alone. You would be looked down upon for asking for help, right? So I'd let that be known first, right? Number one, we're breathing. Number two, we're gonna find out what can we do minimally to start the domino effect, start the snowball to go down the mountain, and then slowly, slowly, slowly get bigger, and then you're back to where you want to be. Easier said than done, but we just step 1 foot at a time together.